Hey guys. Okay, so it's almost the end of the spring break week. It's Thursday. And I haven't been reading any of this for art class, and I haven't been reading any of this for my Brit Lit class because I've been too busy reading this because I could not ignore the siren song that is Barnes & Noble while I'm here. If you couldn't catch that, it's called 40 Tales from the Afterlives by David Eagleman, and it's fantastic. And just like it says, it's 40 tales with all these different theories on what the afterlife is, and some of them deal directly with what God is, or creators, or technicians, depending on the theory. Others just talk about what the afterlife could be. So it's totally CIE, and there's a bunch of them that talk directly about what the purpose of your life should be and what you should be doing with your life while you're here. So I was super excited when I found it, and I just picked it up because it looked interesting, and then I'm reading this, and I'm like, holy crap, I wonder what Florka would say about this, because this is so CIE. Anyway. And I want to share with you just some of the theories that he lays out in this book. Spoiler alert if you plan on reading it. Also, I'm only on the 36th tale, so I've got 4 more to go, and if the meaning of life is revealed in those last 4 chapters and you don't get to hear about it, I'm terribly sorry. But let's just agree that the meaning of life is 42 for the time being. Alrighty, okay, this one is called Circle of Friends, and it deals with the theory that your afterlife is the same as your living life, but, it's populated only by people who you remember from your living life. So anyone you didn't meet, or you don't remember if you met, like someone you just glanced at casually, too bad, you don't get to see them ever again, which is like, whatever. But the thing is, at the last paragraph, which is kind of haunting, is the missing crowds make you lonely. You begin to complain that about all the people you could be meeting, but no one listens or sympathizes with you because this is precisely what you chose when you were living. So it's kind of a cool thought, like, what you're missing out on, and when you die, you can't take it with you, that kind of thing. Even to a higher degree, though. Another cool theory is that, our entire universe, the entire universe is God. She's called the Giantess, and we're all just smaller than even atoms to her. And it's really cool because they talk about, they say that the whole thing is this alien has come to this human, and he's telling him this, how they've discovered that God is this giantess. And then he says that his planet has been trying to gain contact with this giant. And she says, so we discovered that we can communicate with her, but we cannot communicate meaningfully. We are of insufficient size. What can we say to her? What question could we ask? How could she communicate and answer back to us? What could you ask her to do that would have relevance to your life? And if she told you what was of importance to her, could you understand her? Do you think that would have any meaning at all if you displayed one of your Shakespearean plays to a bacterium? Of course not. Meaning varies on a spatial scale, so we have concluded that communicating with her is not impossible, but it is pointless. So I thought that was kind of cool, just thinking about how people approach conversing with God, and whether or not they're getting an answer back, and whether or not you should even bother talking to God. Just a really cool theory. Another one is that in the afterlife, this one's kind of funny, that God worships Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, and obviously the whole thought behind that is that God likes it because he thinks that she accurately portrayed the relationship of a creator to what he has created, and he says, God consoles himself with the thought that all creation necessarily ends in this: creators, powerless, fleeing from the things they have wrought. Totally ties into Genesis and the whole thing with destroying the world and the Great Flood, and I don't remember if that's Genesis now. I'm pretty sure it was, with Noah and the Ark. This one was really cool. This one directly talks about the meaning of life, and it's very, I made the clip about 42 as the meaning of life before, and it relates to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I think. I don't know, purposefully, or this guy just happened upon it, whoa. But, he says this theory is that there is no God, but there's creators, which are these lower being, like humanoids, but they're stupid and they don't have as complex systems as we are, but they create a computer that turned out to be more complex and smarter than they were, which created the humans because they wanted something to tell them what their meaning of life was. So that's why they created these humans. And the only thing is that even humans don't know what the meaning of life is, even via living life. And even when they do, when you die, you come back to these creators, these brutish beings, and they ask you all these questions, and you can say things to them, but they don't understand because we're too complex. So, just interesting, more communicating guests. And it's totally, that's what the whole book is, and it's really, really awesome, and I really recommend picking it up, because it's just, even if it's not, interesting or thought-provoking, philosophically, which, I mean, it is, if you don't find it that way, it's just entertaining. He's a good writer. He's a funny guy. He's currently running a neuroscience research lab, and he studies time perception, synesthesia, and how neuroscience will influence the legal system, which is totally, like, you can totally see, definitely time perception. Which brings me to the first chapter of the book, which I want to read to you guys. It's just about a page and a half, and I thought it was, like, one, it was a fantastic lead into the novel, because it's really attention-grabbing, and it's kind of cool, and it's really thought-provoking. So here's the first chapter. Some. In the afterlife, you really relive all your experiences, but this time with the events reshuffled into a new order. All the moments that share a quality are grouped together. You spend 2 months driving the street in front of your house, 7 months having sex. You sleep for 30 years without opening your eyes. For 5 months straight, you flip through magazines while sitting on the toilet. You take all your pain at once, all 27 intense hours of it. Bones break, cars crash, skin is cut, babies are born. Once you make it through, it's agony-free for the rest of your afterlife. That doesn't mean it's always pleasant. You spend 6 days clipping your nails, 15 months looking for lost items, 18 months waiting in line, 2 years of boredom, staring out bus windows, sitting in an airport terminal, 1 year reading books. Your eyes hurt and you itch because you can't take a shower until it's your time to take your marathon 200-day shower. 2 weeks wondering what happens when you die. 1 minute realizing your body is falling. 77 hours of confusion. 1 hour realizing you've forgotten someone's name. 3 weeks realizing you are wrong. 2 days lying. 6 weeks waiting for a green light. 7 hours vomiting. 14 minutes experiencing pure joy. 3 months doing laundry. 15 hours writing your signature. 2 days tying shoelaces. 67 days of heartbreak. 5 weeks driving lost. 3 days calculating restaurant tips. 51 days deciding what to wear. 9 days pretending you know what is being talked about. 2 weeks counting money. 18 days staring into the refrigerator. 34 days longing. 6 months watching commercials. 4 weeks sitting in thought, wondering if there's something better you should be doing with your time. 3 years swallowing food. 5 days working buttons and zippers. 4 minutes wondering what your life would be like if you reshuffled the order of events. Self-referential. In this part of the afterlife, you imagine something analogous to your earthly life. The thought is blissful. A life where episodes are split into tiny, swallowable pieces, where moments do not endure, where one experiences the joy of jumping from one event to the next, like a child hopping from spot to spot on the burning sand. This book is amazing. Some 41 Tales of the Afterlives, David Eagleman. I think it should be, I mean, I don't know if it's CIE curriculum material, because it's fairly whimsical, I guess, as you can tell maybe from that chapter, and furthermore, it's even more so, it treats the topic that it's dealing with lightly, while still giving it its due respect. But it could be Ursinus is talking about, maybe? I don't know. I just think people should read it. It's really interesting, it's entertaining, and it's relates to CIE. But now I have to go read the lovely The River Between, and I will talk to you guys about The River Between on Monday. Bye!